always liked telling stories, or I always liked reading stories from a young age. I read comic books, and then as I got older, I started reading novels and watching movies. But I don't think I ever thought about it in terms of a profession. It was just something that I loved to take in. It wasn't until I was older and I just had a bunch of jobs that kind of went nowhere, and I quit to do stand-up comedy. Stand-up gave me the ability to present who I am. Hi, I'm Chris Estrada, and this is the Storytellers Spotlight. The heart behind this fool, well, I think it's just a story about kind of honest family and friendships, but in a way that's like you're looking at relationships that are a little flawed, and people sort of accepting each other for who they are, and which is kind of what I guess what you do with family most of the time. It's like they get on your nerves, but you kind of accept them for who they are. I think the power of storytelling to sort of shine a light on maybe what might be marginalized groups, or groups that you probably don't see often on TV or other forms of entertainment. You're getting a look into a world that you might not be necessarily familiar with, or that you might think is completely different from yours, but then you also realize how similar they are to you. I think I remember when I saw the movie Parasite, I think what really fascinated me about that movie is that there was a class dimension to it, and I just thought to myself after watching it, it's like, oh, it's funny how much I related to the struggling Korean family that was living in the basement of this rich Korean family, and thinking to myself, I know what it's like to be broke, and they're broke. So just kind of finding these universal themes in that we all sort of go through. One of the themes, we have an episode called Los Botes, which is the cans, looking at things like from a class perspective. Like my character Julio, his mom is a janitor, and she takes a lot of, for lack of a better word, steals a lot of stuff from the facility she works at, like cleaning utensils, cleaning supplies like toilet paper, and she brings that home because she's able to save money by not buying toilet paper. But in doing so, she brings the worst kind of toilet paper home, but it's all under the guise of, well, we save money. So I think, looking at that through a lens of class, and I think other people who may not be Latino can look at that and go, well, I'm black, I'm white, I'm Asian, I know what it is to be working class. I could see myself doing that as well. And it's a great ensemble cast. I mean, I think a lot of it for me was to I'm a stand-up comedian, so I don't necessarily come from the world of acting. So a lot of that was being self-aware enough for me to be like, how do I surround myself, taking my ego outside of it and saying I should surround myself with very talented people. The reason visibility is important for maybe marginalized groups like Latino people and other marginalized groups that exist within this country, just to really normalize people. Because I think the lives of certain people, marginalized groups, are not that dissimilar to that of other groups that maybe don't think of themselves in that way or whatnot. But I think visibility is meant to normalize, or at least it should normalize. It should normalize groups that others view as different.